Oh boy, I gotta fix that opening. Yeah, because the last one I did. Hello, everybody. Welcome to House Off the Wagon. Talking about House of the Dragon Season 3, EP2. But yes, I need to update that intro because I used it for Night of the Seven Kingdoms, so I'm kind of cutting through it. It doesn't look great, but I'll fix it. We got time. What's up, Babak?
I was actually going to say, as an aside, I love your intro because you have all the big, like from Game of Thrones, but like all the big scenes where like everybody gets it, dude. Like, oh, it's a great like walk down memory lane for me every time I see it.
That's what I mean, though. I need to update it for some of the House of the Dragon stuff, but
yeah.
I just got to find the time. But dude, yeah. So we watched it last night, and we were texting back and forth, and then I believe we both rewatched it today. I mean, I know I did. There's more. When you rewatch something and you get the details a little bit better. I noticed a couple of things that were slightly frustrating, but overall, this is a fucking fantastic hour of television. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not, but oh my goodness! Oh, real quickly, we got Ash D back. Yes,
Ash D.
Hey, oh, that's amazing. You know what? I gotta give her an applause. Oh, it's great. It's great to have you back, and thanks for being here. She's been pretty much in all of these. Let's see. I'm ready for this episode talk. Lots to unpack with this one. And yes, we did do a show last week. We gave some RIPs out there, some big RIPs. Vermex, obviously Jace. Lots of deaths. Hey, guys. See, she says, I like the intro. Well, I appreciate that. And I also want to say hello to my buddy Protein9756. Bring the pain.
What's up, Protein?
Indeed, we will. So Harrenhal is decimated by the end of this. I don't know if for a second there, I know we're jumping way ahead, but my first thought was, is this the last time we're going to see Harrenhal? Is Vhagar going to completely annihilate it to where we get it in Game of Thrones, where it's, just in ruins pretty much. So it doesn't look like it's at that point yet. It looks like there's still people there. We still have Valis Rivers wanting to take it over, but that's not going very well for her. But yeah, let's start from the beginning here. We have a mop up essentially of the Battle of the Gullet with a couple of dragons. I believe one of them was what's the one dancer?
I would need to get a list of dragons' names. I think it's like
Seafoam. It's like Shadow Dancer or something. I don't know. I'm terrible. But one of the worst parts was seeing what Rhaena is now having to deal with, and luckily for her, and I didn't know this, Babak, when we were watching episode 1. Nobody knows who was riding Sheepstealer. Nobody knows. I guess no one
except for Jace. Jace was the one who saw.
Yes,
and he's gone, so he didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, and I think maybe Rhaenyra or the sister, the sister might know, but obviously she's not disclosing it. But I don't even think she does. So when Rhaena shows up with Sheepstealer to where was she when she met up with Lady?
Well, she went to the Vale. She went up to
where she went. She went to the Vale, and they said, "Get out of here! Like, get out of here! I don't know you. Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you? The person who I was supposed to take into safety before you ran off to find this."
That's right. Dragon. Yeah, the Vale. Yeah. So it kind of this picture sums it up pretty well. That she realizes, man, I am in so much trouble. I am in so much trouble.
Like, I've messed things up. Uh-oh, here go my earbuds. You're silly. You're silly. Anyway, yeah, but shut up, like, what? Help. It's like, yeah, that's an understatement. You just got your cousin killed. You probably as much as the other side. Nobody wanted you there in the first place. You were supposed to be keeping the young prince in safety on like another continent. I think they were headed to like another continent, you know?
Yeah.
And boy, she like talk about not following orders, which is the theme that I would love to pick up with the Dragon Riders, dude. Damon. Oh man. But anyway, but yeah, let's stick with Sheep Stealer for a second, you know. But I love the response where she's like, you know, everyone's thinking on their feet. Everyone is like, how do I survive this moment? How do I survive the next moment? Maybe that far ahead. And she's just like, do you want a dragon or not? and then that stops the Lady of the Veil. I don't recall her name right now, but
yeah, I can't remember her name either. Yeah.
Stops her in her tracks. The veil is vast, and I cannot stop a dragon from abiding where it may. But I will not see you. Like, I don't want to see you. You know? Like,
yeah.
I got my house to think of. Heads are rolling as we speak. I'd rather just stay at home, let the rest of y'all burn each other out, and I'll just pick up the ashes, you know, which is a great strategy, I think, if you can manage it.
It is. I mean, and, you know, I don't think Rhaena knows that she was on Sheep Stealer, you know, just blasting Valyrian ships out of the water. It's just, like I said, this image right here, she's just completely screwed and lost. And it's kind of a bummer. You know, she didn't mean to do what she did, but she was stupid, you know?
Yeah. She's just not supposed to be there. I mean, Daemon, when Daemon and Rhaenyra are, you know, talking in bed and like, there's like kind of the first person that she's allowed near her in her depression, and they have no idea. They think the other team got the dragon. They're like, how have they added a dragon to their army? You know, like this, you know, this is a wild dragon. No one can tame a wild dragon.
Yeah, even Daemon says that. He goes, a feral dragon, they can't be ridden. Yeah,
you can't ride one of those. Once they go bad, they're done, you know. But
yeah,
she's doing something, and I feel like, I don't, you know, having not read the books, I feel like her character is a little bit like Arya, in that she's going out there, she's doing her character arc, she's doing her personal development, and she's ending up to be a badass because no one ever wanted her to be, and she's kind of going against. Maybe that sounds very loud. Maybe that sounds she's literally got castanetas right here. I was like, can I throw these away? No, I'm going to leave them for her. And now she's got them. But, you know, so what you're seeing here is this random, okay, sorry. Baby. Mama.
Are you building a house there, Lily?
She's building a house.
You building a house over there?
And now she's going to cry because I said, Mama.
Oh, you can stay here. You can hang with us, Lily. You're good.
Okay, I'm going to mute for a second and let you, okay.
I'm going to check some chats here real quick. Oh my God, we can talk about how amazing Ryn's acting was.
Yes.
I felt her grief. Oh my God, there's this episode had just amazing acting across the board.
Give her an Emmy now and just get it over with.
Yeah, there's a lot. She's dumb to ride the dragon in the first. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what we said for sure. But you never, you know, she was determined. You know, her dragon got stolen from her. You know, and I get it. I totally get it. You know, because we got to remember, like, you know, she was supposed to be riding fucking Vhagar. You know, like, so it's kind of a bummer. At least get used to riding Sheep Stealer a bit before you go to the battle. Well, again, I think Baba, you said she was actually just trying to go home, I think, right? Like, you're muted. You're muted, buddy.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. She wanted to go home. Like, that's her command to Vhagar, home. And Vhagar's old enough to remember Dragonstone is home.
And Rhaena had been out of what was going on for so long, she didn't even know the Battle of the Gullet was happening, you know?
Exactly. So, yeah, they just stumbled on the battle, and she's like, I tried to help, and Sheep Stealer got scared. I'm like, okay, the largest creature in this scene got scared. Okay, I'm poor little thing.
I think Sheep Stealer was like trying to impress his rider, like, hey, did you see that, Mom? That was awesome, right? And she's like, no.
Yeah, big fish eat little fish, dude. It's a dragon. It's wild. It's going to eat the smaller dragons, and that's what it tried to do.
Yeah. So as we start to move on, obviously here's our big sort of moment. Emma Darcy, who plays Rhaenyra, is fucking incredible in this scene. Just and it goes on, and the camera just stays on her for so long. Lets her go through like 10 different layers of sadness and grief and frustration. It is so good because that is her eldest son. That's her oldest son. That's like, and the fact that she, realizes that he locked her in to try to save her or try to keep her. And now we know why, because she can't fight. She sucks. She's like very incompetent when it comes to, like, she can't even wield a sword. Like, we'll get to that. But yeah, she wouldn't have been very good in the Battle of the Gullet either.
Well, I think the point is that she's been saved from death twice now.
Yeah.
By like someone else riding out. And so that's why she's just like, fuck it, dude. I know it's a trap. I'm going in. Like, we're doing this one way or the other. She's like, I'm so over it. She's already lost 2 out of 3 sons.
I know. And
off camera, he hasn't been around.
Well, and everything is so messed up right now because Alicent at this point still thinks that Rhaenyra is going with her plan, which was what their meeting was at the end of season 2. And so I did find out after a little bit of digging, this was the final episode of season 2. So you had your penultimate episode, which was Battle of the Gullet. And then this one was supposed to be the final episode of season 2. But as we already talked about, the writer's strike stopped all that. And this makes more sense with her taking the Iron Throne very reluctantly at the end. Almost so much where I thought she might get poked. Because, as you know, if you get poked, it's kind of a sign that the throne is denying you. Or not denying you, but not feeling that you should be there. But I'm jumping way ahead, I know, but yeah, it makes way more sense watching this that it was the final episode of season 2 completely. Just the final shot with Alicent going, hey, there's my dad's head. Yeah, you're on the Iron Throne. I thought we talked about this. What happened?
Exactly. You were going to kill my son, not my father. What the hell?
Yeah. Well,
by the way, how did you find him?
Well, remember, she was going to. She said, bring Aegon to me, but she didn't even know he was gone.
Yeah, no, and she and when Otto gets drug out by Daemon, he's just using Rhaenyra at that point for his own personal vendetta.
Because remember, he was going to kill. He was going to kill the High Tower Hand. I can't remember his name. I think the Maester. Yeah, something like that. And he's like, you know what? I know somebody a little more satisfaction you'll get from killing this guy.
He gave him the Master of Laws. The guy.
That was the other one. That was Jasper.
But he's the one that the Maester told Daemon, you can.
So that's who it was. Okay,
that's who it was because nobody except for that one jailer knew that Otto was down there. Because that one jailer was like,
oh, see, they kind of misdirect you. They make you think that Daemon is looking at Otto, but he's actually looking at Jasper. Okay,
no. He goes in the cells. He sees Jasper, and we see Jasper, Lord Jasper, whatever, and he's like, I'm gonna kill you, and Jasper's like, it's all that bitch is doing, and he's like, I can cut your cock off first for fun if you don't stop talking.
yeah.
And that's when the jailer is like, if you please, whatever he calls Daemon, but there's a gift here from Lord Larys Strong should you ever return. And that's when Daemon walks down and he looks in through and he sees Otto. He just starts laughing. I was laughing too. I was like, oh my God, that's where he's been this whole time.
Well, they show him. Yeah, they show him.
Yeah. So Daemon is the one who's getting Otto Hightower killed. And again, it's like Daemon has always just got to put his little twist on things. And you remember, like, he's matured since season 1, but he's still that mischievous guy who's just throwing a monkey wrench just because he enjoys it, And he gets off on killing people, dude. Like, you saw how happy he was when Rhaenyra was like, "Oh, I already killed one person. Take your sword back." And he's like, "Yep," and like took that other dude's head off, Jasper's head off, like with like no. We had a mirthful. He was happy, like that's Daemon just executing prisoners in public as a power play. That's his thing, like he loves doing that.
I mean, dude, I think it was episode 2 of season 1 where he takes the gold cloaks out and they just are cutting people's dicks off and murdering everybody.
Episode 1, yeah, those either episode.
Was that 1 or it was 1 or 2? Yeah, I think it was 1.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
He's displaying the dominance of like, you know what? People are getting a little too comfortable around here. We just got to go fucking torture and kill a bunch of people for no reason at all.
Public, we're in the main plaza, and dude, okay, I love watching the dragon riders interact with Daemon because they were told go ambush Vagar when he goes to Harrenhal, and they went there. The witch scares them. They're like,
and they only waited there. They waited there for 2 days and then bailed.
And Daemon, dude, I love the interaction with the what's not Hugh, because Hugh, he's a smith. He's dealt with the nobility. He understands how to be polite, and he's
a smart writer. Yeah,
Hugh's a good guy.
The drunkard just says all the wrong things all the time. Dude,
and he's like, "Oh, it's Prince Daemon." Like goes to give him a hug, and he's like, and he checks himself, and this is the first person, Ulf the friggin' goof, has checked himself. He goes in and he's like, "Oh, I cannot touch this person. Like, you touch Daemon or even Aemon. When did Aemon kill the old the grandpa? As soon as he put his hands on Aemon.
Well, well, I think Aemon was gonna kill him anyway. He was gonna kill him, but he was trying. That was strong. That was strong. I love that character. Now,
okay, is he like the uncle of Larys Strong Club?
Yeah.
He's the uncle, and he's the caretaker of Harrenhal. He is
of Harrenhal,
of Harrenhal, because the Lord and the sons, because it's Larys Strong's oldest brother, who was the father, the bodyguard / father of Rhaenyra's children, because she was married to her gay cousin, who took gold and ran off at the end. This guy, dude. What a great
Simon Strong. I loved him, dude.
He's such a good character. He's like Samwell Tarly. He's this show's Samwell Tarly, dude. He's so good.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Like he means well. Like, I mean, he does really good by Daemon, where they, when they meet him with the is it the black Tommy Flanagan's army. And they're singing a song about a battle that they won that I wish we would have seen.
It would have been great, yeah. But now it makes sense because, like in the previous, when we talked about episode 1, I was so confused. I was like, "What's with the Starks showing up right now when the battle's over, and then like they're not getting killed right away?" And I was like, "Oh, duh, they're on the same team as Daemon. That's why Daemon is like not immediately roasting them with the dragon, and because they bring in the severed head of the Lannister twin, who is the older one, I guess. Jason, I think is his name. And
Jason's the one that got thrown overboard, right, at the Battle of the Gullet.
So then it's his twin brother. I don't recall his name, but they're twins. They're played by the same actor. Who, by the way, this actor has now played 2 characters in this Game of Thrones. I swear I saw him. He was in a few different episodes of the original Game of Thrones. So this actor, he's actually been all over. Like he's played different characters within the Game of Thrones franchise, which is great. Great for him. And 2 players plays twins, and like one of them is like gets his head cut off, and his head is on a pike next to the lion's head. And dude, that drinking song, I felt like they were in like Sherwood Forest or whatever,
or fucking Lord of the Rings or something. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, when Aemon was in Harrenhal and he's doing his like one-man army thing, I kept saying, like in my mind, that actor was repeating to himself, "I'm not an elf. I'm not an elf. I'm not an elf. I'm not an elf." That was my monologue. But anyway, that's just an aside. But yeah, you've got this great song, and the way that they're like singing it, it sounds like it's an old song, but they're kind of making it up as they go along. It's this is when that song, that drinking song, that battle song is being coined, and they're making up as they go along. And I love that scene for so many reasons. One of them is that female warrior who, for some reason, paints her eyes.
Yeah, she's a big part of the source material. She's an amazing archer. It's super badass. I can't remember her name. I'm going to look it up right now. But
I believe that character is going to be one of the big characters in this season. And
I hope so, because we need Tommy Flanagan's army to start doing some damage on screen, you know?
Oh, they'll get their moment, dude. Those Winter Wolves or whatever they're called.
Yeah, from what I understand, episode 4 is another one of the really big battles from the source material. So bring that shit. Bring it.
Well, heck yeah. But I love the way that Game of Thrones in HBO, like the way they'll weave these characters into the background of other scenes where they're just the extra with a line. And like then later on, they're really more pivotal and they get a lot more screen time. And, you know, for example, with the Lannister twins, like when I was rewatching the season 1, when I saw them, because the older twin is the one who the comment that the Viserys has is that man's pride has pride, you know?
Yeah.
He's such a great character where he's like, you know, my castle's big enough for a dragon keep, my lady. She's like, why? He's like, so I could protect your dragons when I take you off. You know, like he's just such a prick. And then his
Viserys had all the best lines.
Dude, yeah. But then his twin brother, who is like the good guy, he's the one who ends up on the council. He's the one who goes off and gets the pirates from the Triarchy to come over and all that. But, you know, just like seeing all of these side characters sort of woven into the background, they get a couple of lines, they're established as being a presence, so that then later on, when they do their big thing, it's not like where they come from. It's just, oh, I missed it when I got to go rewatch this to go see the intro of that person. So that female warrior, the archer, like I believe that she's going to be a big part coming up. And so
she definitely is in the source material. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a great scene, dude. I loved it.
Want to read this one from Ash D there, Babak?
Yeah, Ash D 710. Yeah, I was thinking during this episode, is Damon doing this as a husband trying to light a fire under his wife, or does he just want to be kind and here's his opening? You're always guessing with him. Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Well, that episode at Harrenhal in season 2 where he pledges his undivine allegiance to her, I've built you an army, and then he made the army even bigger. It's still hard to tell with Damon. Like, yes, he definitely loves his wife niece, but you know, he's obviously playing the long game of like, you know, with this there'll be power and more stuff that comes with it, but he's definitely not doing it out of the goodness of his heart for sure. Hey, Jill,
isn't she his third wife?
Yeah, because remember the miscarried the wife,
his original wife,
the original Vagar writer was his wife, who she had the baby turned and she asked Vagar to just burn her alive.
that was No, that was
and then he had the other wife when he took over Dragonstone.
No, his first wife, no, because Grey Worm was never his wife. They never got married.
Oh, they never got married. Yeah.
He just said that they got married and she was pregnant, just as an excuse to take the freaking dragon egg from his niece, you know? And
Jill, thank you for being here, my darling Jill.
Hey, good to see you, Jill. We drink your cinema.
Damon is the beast of the series. He deserves to be king, and we all know. Yeah, well, yeah, he should be king. Yeah, but whether that ever happens or not, I don't know. I intentionally don't read the source material because I want to watch the show play out, and I know it's already deviated a lot from what I understand, so I don't even want to read it. Maybe afterwards.
Nice. Gap After Dark, welcome.
Gap After Dark. Hey, I saw this post from Anti-Derivative Jill stopping by to watch your stream. Well, man, thank you. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you like the show, and please sound off in the chat if you have disagreements or things you want to bring up that maybe we don't, you know, that'd be wonderful. Everybody's welcome here, man. So yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's great to have you guys in the chat, and we do listen and we do watch and we do read. He tends to kill his wives when needed.
Yeah, because his original wife was the one that she only like the only time she ever got screen time was literally a scene where she dies. Where, and again, it's one of these things where like, is Damon trying to kill her, or like did he go there premeditatedly to murder her, or was this just like manslaughter? Because she falls off her horse, but it's like,
oh, that's right. That yeah.
She was his original wife, and like he was. So that's why when he said that he's got the Grey Worm as his new wife, he's like, they're like, you're already married, and he's like, yeah. So what? You know, like I'm a Targaryen. Come on, you know, like.
His Valerian wife he loved, and that's where he had the kids with. He loved her,
and that's when he finally became a decent, you know, father.
Yeah, well, he left everything behind. He left everything behind and raised kids. Because remember, there was all those time jumps. Like season 1 had these massive time jumps. You know, like every episode was like 10 years later. You're like, oh shit. You know?
Wait, who's this character playing again? But they did such a good job of aging up the characters, even though they switched out actors with just the mannerisms and obviously costuming and stuff, you know. But like, man, Alicent, like that character, the age, like I'm like with Rhaenyra, I'm like, okay, these are two different actresses. I can see the difference, you know.
Yeah.
Miley, she's just so. You know, she has like no meat on her that like a normal human being that just has like a normal amount of body weight looks big compared to her, you know?
Well, like, the thing is like the actress who plays the older Alicent is Olivia Cook, and she's only about 30 years old. So when they aged her up, she still looked really, really young. She looks a lot younger than Emma Darcy, you know, like significantly younger because she is.
Kids. Yeah, she looks the same as, you know, because all her kids are grown now. And they're all like 20s and 30s, the actors and actresses, you know, they're all in their 20s and 30s. And it's like, no, I'm playing the mom in this scene. Like, oh, okay, I guess I'm your son. Give me a kiss, you know, like what the.
I've been watching Olivia Cook since she was first on a show called Bates Motel, which was fantastic. And I've always said she should play Rogue if they ever recast a Rogue and do some sort of, you know, X-Men thing or whatever. But anyway, story for another time.
Both of those actresses, they're because like with Alicent, how she was gnawing on her nails as a kid, peeling her nails as a kid, and then the older Alicent would still kind of have those little, you know, like reactions where, and then she like gets it under control. But you just see that this is the same person. And dude, with Rhaenyra, that character, even though the actresses they don't look like identical to me, like the character has been progressing so well. But I will say Emma Darcy. Such incredible emotional range just in one, like she nailed, I don't want to get to the end yet, but she nailed that ending with like 5 different complicated emotions. You can see her thought process, you know, like when Alicent walks in, sees Otto's head on the floor, literally she stepped in his blood. His blood are the bloody footprints that she leaves up to the throne. One of my favorite scenes in TV ever is where she's walking up the stairs and you just have to see it in the reflection of Otto's blood and his head is there in the foreground.
Yeah.
So, what a great, like, dude, they blocked that scene so incredibly.
And I think that's I think it's a very important thing that happens in the story with her walking up with the bloody footprints to the throne and it almost denying her presence of it for some reason. And at this visual right here, it's like, yeah, she now is 100% gone from the Alicent plan that they had set up. She initially wanted to do that, and it just didn't happen.
Until Damon's got to go and put in his 2 cents, you know, like he puts her up in front of everybody, and it's like they're going to think you're weak if you don't kill like this guy that you like, that you don't have a problem with. It's not a part of the story, you know. It's just symbolism. It's only symbolism, you know.
It's just perfect. Yeah, you're 100% right. I don't even it's
but symbolism. Damon, dude, he's just like that guy that he loves chopping heads, seeing heads roll. For him, this is fun. He's entertained, and it's what he and his family do to stay in power. And he's like all in 100%, you know. But he is a bit more mature than wisdom. But this character, Emma Darcy, as I'll just get to it because you know we're talking about it. She's a whooped dog. The way that, like, when there's a moment where they bring Jace's body into her chambers, and she's like, "What have you done?" And goes through all that, and then her bodyguard, the guy who locked her in her own bedroom on Jace's orders, pulls her off. And again, that's one of like the 3 times in the scene where you just do not put your in this episode, you just do not put your hands on a Targaryen. Like the next thing you want, you right then and there. And like he pulls her off, and she's just like, "How dare you lay your hands on me?" And she's backed up against the wall. She's surrounded by people that she starts saying, "You all betrayed me." And what you do is you see her hunch her head down like this, and she stays in that pose whenever she's not like in bed with depression. When she's standing, she's just got her head forward. She looks like she's a whoop dog. She's a combination of a whoop dog and a field mouse that's just like scurrying around. And the first time that she feels any relief from that is when she actually, because she stands in front of the throne. And it takes her a second to even put her hand on it. And then she's like then she starts calming down again. Like she starts to get out of this depression, and then that's when you see Allison walk in, and she goes that whole range of emotion of like, I'm scared. I'm, no, I've done this. No, I have to own it. And then she kind of starts bringing her posture up again. And she's no longer that.
Well, I do think by design, she never looks confident for the walk up, the sit down, like the whole thing looks sketchy. And you got to wonder if because, we're in a room full of high tower guards. And then obviously the gold cloaks that said, "Hey, we're on your side."
I'm about to, dude, and I'm sorry, no one's got a bow and arrow. Everyone does these up front.
You know what? We're okay. Well, okay. Fine. I have a couple of issues that I wrote down. Okay, they got to the Iron Throne way too easy.
They just flew in.
Where were the archers? No. Forget about how they got to King's Landing.
Oh, you mean just like
the walk in? Like, where were the archers? The high tower guards were a bunch of like really stupid pussies because they go after Daemon one at a time. Where are they all? Like, it's supposed to be completely heavily guarded. And yeah, I know the gold cloaks end up like being on Daemon's side, but he didn't know that.
He didn't know
he did not actually know that was going to happen. It was just way too easy. There should have been at least like sort of a battle or some, should have been a little bit harder to get there. So it was a little anticlimactic.
I think so, but I feel like because this is HBO, there'll be consequences. We'll see the fight, but it's not right now.
No, I just mean in the moment,
keep you guessing,
getting there so simple.
Tension, when the gold cloaks storm in behind Daemon and Rhaenyra, it's like they draw that HBO drew out that tension, that moment of where they're just like, either this is game over or this is gonna work, And like when Daemon sees his old drinking buddy, he's like, "I am so glad I took you guys to the brothels 20 years ago, because otherwise you would not be on my side right now,"
Yeah. Well, yeah, you get that moment where you actually see Daemon saying, "Thanks, man. You remembered something I did for you 25 years ago." And that but again, if that hadn't happened, what was Daemon and Rhaenyra going to do? Like,
they were going to die. They were going
to die. So it was a really stupid plan. It was really impulsive. And it just by luck, it kind of worked out, But
and worked so far. But isn't this like the first moment that Rhaenyra has actually sat the Iron Throne as queen?
Yes.
Has she ever done that before?
No.
Yeah, she's never done that before. Yeah, because because when her dad died, that's when the coup happened, and everything. She never got the chance to actually, and so that she's like, "Oh my God, is this real? Like, I finally get to sit here," She's like shaking with her snot coming down her face.
Her snot coming down her face when she misses her first attempt to cut off Otto's head by hitting him in the back.
Yeah. and he said, "Let Daemon do it. Just at least don't hack at me." And then she just hacks at him. His last words.
So the funniest scene, because another problem I have with this episode is that the Master of Laws, Jasper, just out of nowhere decides to
rape the queen.
Rapist. Yeah. He just does that for no fucking reason at all. That just, I don't know why that scene was there. I guess it was just to get him in a cell for the ending. But I do love how fast like Damon just chops his head off. He's like, "Please tell my lady wife."
Because like, remember when Corliss's brother like stood up and challenged them, and like Damon just like took the like top of his head, and he goes, he can keep his tongue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's good. It's good to see Damon and Rhaenyra back together, because they're really not in hardly any scenes together in season 2, because he's at Harrenhal tripping balls pretty much the whole season. So it's nice to see like him back and fighting people and fucking them up,
Oh, dude, and I love how people just have to, like, the way that Ulf finally he learns to shut his fucking tongue is just from Damon's presence. Like, he walks in the room and you're just like, even Ulf is like, I need to learn how to I need to learn some manners, And like Damon is a person where he's close to you and you're not sure if he's going to let you live or not, Like puts his hand on the guy's throat. He's got his broadsword there. And just like, talk to me, like, let's have a chat. Yeah. And it's that same way when Ulf sees Damon, and Damon is like, whoever asked you to think, like, and then Ulf, what's his response, dude? I love it. It's one of the highlights where I was busting up so hard, dude. When Ulf is like, there's something strange in those woods. We heard voices, and there was and Damon just backhands him.
Almost
takes his jaw off. He's like sitting there, he's like,
he's like, I'm done talking to you. I'm gonna go to the guy that has a level head, And,
what I'm saying? And like, dude, I love watching Ulf like just trying to not get killed by Damon for the rest of the episode. When Damon comes up to him, he's like, here's the plan. Rhaenyra's gonna fly point. I'm gonna be the strong guy. You guys stay high and wide, make sure no one gets us from the skies, okay? Is that simple enough for you? And he's like, at no point do I need you to think, and puts his finger on Ulf's forehead.
Yeah.
And Ulf was like, yes.
Well, it's funny too that you have these like you have these 3 new dragon riders who have yet to do anything on their dragons, like it's so far, just because they don't trust them really. Like, okay, the dragons like accepted you, but we don't know.
No, they're cannon fodder in the first place, because they're the ones who didn't die. They were already, Rhaenyra was always like, it's cool if these guys die, because she called in all the illegitimates and stuff. But dude, if they had just stood at their post for like another day,
dude,
and they would have had that big epic fight, in the air, and I bet you, my money would still be on Aemon.
Yeah, dude. No, Vhagar would have just killed both those dragons.
Them.
Especially them just being inexperienced riders. Like, they would have died anyway. But
they
can you read Ashdy's message and hold the fort for 1 sec? I'll be back.
Absolutely. Ashdy, plus he wanted her to make the decision for him to strike. I think it was a manipulation. Like, look supportive, but if he had made that blow instead of her, it would have sent a message for sure. Yeah. There's so many layers to all of this right here. I think right here talking about Daemon in the end with the execution, in the throne room. Yeah, because I think that part of this is Daemon is trying to support Rhaenyra and make her appear to be the queen and to be the queen in the eyes of the people, and he's trying, because secretly like everybody is like, Daemon should be the king, and so I think he's playing that role of the power behind the throne, the kingmaker, because often that is maybe more powerful, and it just kind of so far just looks like he's grown a little bit more mature. He knows that whether it's his brother or his niece wife as the regent, he's still the second in the empire, and he's fine with that. He came to terms with that in the past. But I really think that story-wise, the reason why, as a writer, you wouldn't want to have those 3 noob dragon riders face off against Vhagar, because they probably would have just been eaten up right then and there. And I believe, having never read the books, and believing what I read online, I believe that Daemon and Aemon are gonna both die in this epic battle with both their dragons going down and some crazy shit. And I can't wait to see that on screen. And so so far from the first 2 episodes of season 3, it looks like they are kind of, because I believe that dragon battle between Daemon and Aemon happens around the Harrenhal area. I'd have to double check that. But I think that they're kind of setting that up. And is this supposed to be another 8-episode season, Ben? Like season 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 8 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's plenty of time for something like that to play out, So I would love to see something like that. But here's my question. Speaking of Harrenhal, that witch, Alice Rivers.
Yeah.
In the first place, I believe that in the North, if you're illegitimate, they just say your last name is Snow. And is that the same in the Riverlands? Like if you're illegitimate, you have no name, they just call you.
I don't know. That's interesting. But
I'm just wondering, if that's how it is there, because that would make sense with her name being Rivers, of her having no parents, having no father, being a non-human creature, that's like some sort of spirit shapeshifter. I saw something online that they're like before humans came here, there were already the children, sort of like the Picts up in like Britain or whatever. But the idea that there's this deeper spiritual battle that preexists humans, and dragons being fire, and at the other side, the rivers being water, those being opposite elemental spirits or something. And so I'm not sure what the deal is, because you've now seen Alice Rivers really, 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 really trying to help, like appearing to try to help Daemon and Rhaenyra. But now that Aemon is there, and to his credit, one of those strong sons, he did get his dagger up right underneath that armor, which is a tough, because he's got that breastplate all the way down to his waist, and there's a very small little crevice between the 2 pieces of armor. And that one strong son, he got that dagger right up there, and then he got killed right away. But that is a potentially mortal wound.
Aemon, I mean, we obviously know that Aemon's not dead.
He's not dead, but he's bleeding out on the floor, and he's murdering everyone in sight at first. And again, this is what I love about this show, the dramatic tension of will he, won't he? Except it's always like, will he, won't he kill you, And so, with Aemon here, he's just done the will he, won't he with this whole family, who he just wipes out. And then he sees Alice Rivers appear there, and, you're wondering, will he kill her? Won't he kill her? And so far, the way he's killed everyone in this room is he's talked with them, he's walked up close to them, and, he's studying them the whole time. You can see the look in his eye that he's watching them. He's wondering what they're going to do. He's seeing how close, like a spider. Like, if you ever seen how insects eat each other, they don't rush. They kind of.
I mean, look at this picture right here. He's 10 times scarier without the eye patch.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's just not Ruby or not whatever that thing is. But so at first, it looks like he's going to go kill her. It's like this guy's decided to go kill her, and then he notices that he's bleeding out massively, and he just collapses, and he says, "Help me." And I'm assuming that she's going to help him, otherwise he would die right then and there. But so she's playing both sides. That Alice Rivers is at this point potentially trying to help both sides against the other for some reason. And I think that because her stated aim is to have dominion over Harrenhal and these lands.
Yes, she wants dominion over Harrenhal. And remember, when we were doing this on season 2, Babak, we kept going back and forth on, like, can people see her? Is it just Daemon that can see her, but then you see other people talking to her? I don't think she's as vulnerable as we think, to where Aemon could have just killed her. I think she maybe could have disappeared, or I do think other people can see her, but she shows up when she wants to show up to people. I mean, that's what it looks like, because you and I went back and forth so much in a particular scene in season 2 where Daemon can see her, and then it looks like somebody else talks to her, but we never see him directly speak to her, And
more importantly, I think we don't see how she appeared to him.
Well, to remember what she says, remember how she introduces herself. I'm a witch. She just straight up says it. I'm a witch.
Yeah, that was kind of a shortcut. It's like,
it was kind of that was not George R.R. Martin dialogue.
I was not in the original. Yeah. So something like that. I was just like, yeah, but you know what? I'll fucking take it, because this is a compressed timeline. This is not 8 years. I mean, 8 seasons over 10 years or whatever it was. This is like 4 seasons over 6 years, maybe. And it's not, 12. I don't know. Those Game of Thrones, they had like more than 10 episodes season. It was a lot.
No, some of them were 13. Yeah. They didn't get short until the final couple of seasons. Yeah.
And I think that, honestly, like it's not a cult like phenomenon right now. Well, maybe it's more of a cult thing now, but like it used to be like everybody was watching every episode every week and talking about it until the next episode. And now I can't find another person that's watching this, like amongst my friends, but like us, like we're watching it, but like, I'm like, dude, it's better than ever. And they're like, is that still on? And so I think HBO
these shows take too long, dude. They take too long,
but I think HBO like cut back the budget. And therefore they were like, we have to improve the quality. Therefore, we're just going to have to compact the storyline, make it as short as we can justify, just because I think that's just the reality they're dealing with, the viewership and the budget and stuff like that. But better than ever, like the quality is better than ever. It's like, like how oil becomes coal, becomes diamond. It's like this diamond is getting more and more concentrated.
Dude, the Battle of the Gullet. I mean, I know it was a little choppy and it kind of started in the middle of it, but the scenes you do get, there's never been an on-screen dragon as amazing and convincing as on this show. So Ash T says, remember, Alicent and Helena told them to stand down, so it's probably spread through the Green Army, and most men stood down except for those few inside.
There was a few hardcore.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but there were ones that went in there and charged them in the Iron Throne. Where were the guards just guarding the Iron Throne to begin with?
Those were the guys, because Alicent, I don't understand, because these were all high towers, because
they were the high tower guards. Yeah.
And so like I believe that the throne, because I was wondering that too, because you got the gold cloaks and you got the green cloaks, and I was like, okay, those are all high tower. And that moment when they clear the throne room and Daemon gives the order, arrest these men and all who wear the high tower colors.
Yeah.
And that means
seize them.
Yeah, that means Alicent. That means Helena, and they're like, part of the deal is they get to go free. That is the deal. And if it wasn't for them, there would have been a fight. Helena, I love that character so much. The actress does such a great job, of just sort of like, she's just, I don't want to see any beast harmed. Are you happy, mother? I was like, dude, such a great character.
Protein's comment here just reminded me of something. So yeah, I do love it that, because obviously Aemond wants to be Daemon. Just he has since day one. The way the show edits that, they Aemon's going after Harrenhal and Daemon's obviously going after King's Landing. And, they're both just taking people out super easy. And it's a great piece of editing where you kind of, I mean, it doesn't happen simultaneously, but the styles for which they fight and the way they enter with their dragons, and, they go for the, gullet, I guess they go straight in for the heart. Like who is it? Pick up your sword, strong, I haven't wielded a sword since I was a young man. It's like, okay, well, who can, and Daemon would have done the same. Well, Daemon, he's a little bit different than that now. He's more strategic. He's not as psychotic as Aemond is. But this comment, thank you, Protein, for bringing it up. It reminded me of the fact that at the end of season 2, when Alicent has snuck into Dragonstone and told Rhaenyra, like, hey, we have to find this common ground. So you have to come in and you have to kill Aegon. I'll allow that to happen. And then we kind of shift over to the beginning of this season where Alicent is telling Aemon, like, go to Harrenhal, go confront your uncle, Daemon. It's his uncle, right? Yeah, go confront your uncle. And remember, at that time, that was Alicent trying to get him out of King's Landing, because she had these plans set up. Yeah, and she already had these plans set up that she thought Rhaenyra was going to follow, and Rhaenyra tried to. A lot of shit happened that kind of blew it all up, and they don't have Instagram, they don't have cell phones, So when something happens, they don't know it's happening. You know,
no one who's in the room, who's not in the room, knows what happened in the room.
Yeah. So you could maybe not find stuff out for a while, but then in this episode, when Aemon like charges Harrenhal with Vhagar, which is awesome scene, just awesome scene. It gets off Vhagar, and Vagar's just fucking terrorizing Harrenhal, and then he goes into the Strongs, and like I said, he pick up your sword. You know, I wielded the sword since I was a young lad. You know, but that scene right there, it's like, okay, is this what Alicent originally intended to have happen? Because everything else that was supposed to happen, because there's even a scene in this episode where Alicent's like, oh, Rhaenyra did it. She's following through with the plans. You know? And you're like, whoa, do you not know everything else that's going on? Apparently not. You know, when I did the rewatch today, I'm like, oh shit, Alicent still thinks that like everything is going according to plan. And it would have had Aegon been there, you know, had Aegon been there and she hacks his head off and takes the throne, it would have been a different story. But because we leave on Otto's head on the floor and Alicent seeing that, everything changes, you know.
Now she specifically called for Aegon, not Aemon, correct?
No, Aegon. Yeah, she needed to, because she was sticking with her original thing. I need to kill the king.
She wants to kill Aegon, the usurper, not Aemon. Although Aemon is the one who she actually has a blood vengeance for.
Yeah, but she knew that Aemon was off doing this other thing because they, you know,
like so he's not just going to.
She needed to hack the head off the king, in order to take the throne. So it's still sort of out in the open, like, or it's still sort of open, like, is she's not the queen, because the name of the episode was Queen's Landing. So I don't think she is the queen. She's not. Ultimately,
no one person is the monarch forever. You know, this is the Game of Thrones. The wheel, what was it, Varys in Game of Thrones? The wheel turns.
Yeah.
And always the game continues. Something like that. You know, so like, even if she is queen now, even if she's queen for 10 years, she's not the last queen. Someone will take it from her at some point. Somehow,
okay.
You know?
I think this comment was when we were talking about Alice Rivers.
She serves the old gods. Yeah,
so Rivers serves the old gods. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
because I
don't know a whole ton about that. I just know that, like, because weren't the newly appointed dragon riders, they were on, what was it called, the Isle of Faces or something like that. It's
they were in Dragonstone.
No, they were in Dragonstone, but they were like, there was something to the reason they were all freaked out and stuff. And remember, they saw the green men that looked like fucking minotaurs or whatever, or centaurs.
Oh, where they were posted up for the ambush.
Yeah, when they were posted up for the ambush and they saw those. Yeah, so I found out they're called green men or whatever.
Right, yeah.
I still don't know what that means, but I guess it has a lot to do with the Werewoods being taken over at a specific time or something like that. There's so much fucking lore; it's hard to keep track.
My understanding is that the children, sort of like the Picts, they were the original dwarf-sized, hominids that inhabited Westeros, and there were two different migration events. One was when, like in the ancient days of myths and legends, when the first humans, the first men came across the Narrow Sea from Easteros. And at that time, all the things that are now the storylines with the White Walkers, but also these green men, the White Walkers and I believe the green men, I think were created by the children as weapons because the men were wiping out the children. It was a genocidal thing. And so the children, as a last ditch, they got their wonder weapons. And they're the ones who, with like magic or whatever, created not only the green men, but also the walkers. And then the walkers, the ones who were able to raise the dead as zombies, they're basically like, their power is death, right? But the green men, they're like a nature spirit. And so their powers, comes from the trees and life. I'm assuming that therefore they would be a little more similar to the children. They're the children of the forest. So they're forest.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Right. Something like that.
And we never saw any creature like that in Game of Thrones. to
There
my
may have
knowledge.
been the children were in Game of Thrones. There was one scene that shows the children creating the Night King, and they were in basically like sort of a Stonehenge with like an oak or whatever the weir tree is.
Right.
They had him tied up. They put like this obsidian dagger in his heart, and that's when they created him as the Night King. And then in the TV show, I know the books are different, but like in the TV
I'm
show,
only going off the TV. Yeah.
I'm just in TV, yeah. But now I'm learning that the Green Men were also created by the children, but they're a forest spirit, and so I'm assuming that they're like more similar to the children somehow. But no, I don't think the Green Men. There may have been like one fleeting thing somewhere in the 8 years, but
I just don't remember seeing like a centaur type thing.
No.
But it was really cool to see it. I hope it plays some kind of role in something. But one thing we haven't gotten to.
It's tied with Alice Rivers, and it's
100%. That's what. Oh no. I mean, because she appears right after that thing is there. Yeah.
And so whatever the Green Men thing is, their dominion is not. I don't believe the entire continent. I think it's just around the Riverlands and Harrenhal and stuff. But
so let's catch up real quick here. Well, it was a deal before Jace died. Yeah. It was, but I think Protein says it. Jace's death changed the plans. Only no one knew it. Yeah. Well, again, no cell phones, no way to text your buddy and be like, hey, shit just went south. Kill the plan.
Yeah, I've altered the deal.
This deal keeps getting worse every time.
Pray I do not change it again.
I love that Robot Chicken episode so much. That's all I think about when I think about that scene.
Yeah, we should do a Robot Chicken Star Wars thing. I would love that.
So, one thing we haven't really gotten into yet, because it wasn't a huge point, but we did get the fact that Corlys is alive. Corlys is alive. Very heartwarming scene where Corlys says, at this point, son, all I have to give you is my name. And this actor, I don't know his name, is just crushing this scene because that's all he wanted.
Ever.
That's all he wanted, And then I think it's not Rhaena, but the older Bela is like, my grandmother's the only reason that he never sought you out, and we don't blame her for that.
Life,
Yeah. She, he married a white girl. Things changed.
But he never. Alan of Hull, played by Abu Bakr Salim.
That's his name? That's this guy's name?
Alan, and his brother with the dreads is Adam. Adam's the dragon rider. Alan is going to basically take over the seas.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you brought up, dude. This is what I love about Game of Thrones still being about an hour long per episode, is that they can, in that time frame, you can easily fit in a 30-minute story at the end, the main episode that we've been talking about the whole time. But dude, then with the first 30 minutes, they're putting in like 2 other stories right there, at least. You've got not only Rhaenyra dealing with Jace, and this is all family. The whole first, half of this episode, it's all about family. It's like bring the son home to mom. And then here you got the son looking for his dad. And the dad, like you said, finally saying, okay, basically I'm sorry, which he's already said, but like actually trying to make amends for it.
Yeah. And they give Corlys all the best lines where he's like, if this is victory, I hope to never see another. It's just like, I love that. I love that.
Such a Pyrrhic victory, dude. And it's like, we can't afford to win like this.
Yeah.
It's like the British Bunker Hill.
It's hardly a win. Yeah.
It's like, but it is because they're alive and the other side is not. And now they have a chance to recoup. And you're seeing this moment. This is the bottom for this family, because they've lost mom, and, the sons were all never acknowledged. And, his other son, his brother's dead. Corlys's brother is dead. His other son is gone. I think he went to Easteros, and I assume he's alive, but he's not coming back, And so this is the family that he can salvage. He is literally a sailor that's been shipwrecked, and he's trying to salvage whatever he can into a new ship to get to a safe harbor. And he's doing that, with his family in this sense, and it was just so powerful, so good. And I love that it wasn't just Alan in the first scene. Oh, there he is. I see him. Like, come on. Like, they showed the search. They showed that each of these siblings, because even though they never really met each other, they are siblings, and they all love their dad, and they're all out searching independently, and they kind of bump into each other. And they're like, oh, hey, I'm here. Let's help each other out because we have a common goal. Yeah. And, so what you're really seeing is the low point for this family, but they're just going to be going up from here. And these characters, because Alan, it's like you got Q and Ulf, and then over here with the Corliss kids, you've got Alan and you got Adam. And Adam, he's not an Ulf, but that character started out as just sort of like a happy-go-lucky rogue, ne'er-do-well, just trying to like charm everyone with his looks and, just like skate his way through life. And then you've got Alan here that's just like button down the hatches. Yeah. I have to make my way in the world. No one's ever done anything for me. And, like those two characters, I love that they're on the ascendancy now. And I think Adam has to be able to get some more screen time. Alan is an incredible character. Him and Corliss,
he's a great character. Yeah.
So good, dude. And the way he's got those little scars on the side of his face now, that's one of the things that I love about this show is like when it comes down to like if you notice Damon, he's got that sort of like burn scar now on his neck from a previous fight. And Alan too, like the scars and stuff, they'll build that the makeup, in makeup, they'll build up those, and they know exactly where each scar is supposed to be, and they're not there originally. They're earned through the events of these shows. And so like now when you're seeing, like Alan's got those little scars there, it's like that's from the battle that whatever, and you can see these characters really aging just through the prosthetic makeup and stuff, just like showing this is a moment in time, and they've been through so much. But yeah, this so good.
So Protein says Corliss's descendants find him breathing and bruised, washed up against her. Okay, so my line was a little off. If this be victory, I hope I never see another. It's almost like a Yoda line. Yeah. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, and Corliss seeing House Valerian. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, burning down. Yeah, that's crazy because I didn't know that was going to happen because this isn't even the last season and that house is gone. So what's next for them?
Yeah, and that was the plan from the Pirate Queen. She was just like, do you think that Corliss is going to stay in the Battle of the Gullet if once he sees his pile of treasures burning? Because like everything in there is something that it's a memento that he's gathered away. Sure. Yeah. And so it like one of my favorite scenes from season 1 was when Corliss and his wife, they were the queen who never was, they were just at their fireplace in their castle, and he was saying, look, this is why I'm trying to get like our house ahead, whatever. But in the background they were showing his treasures, and one of them was one of those marble statues that had been shipwrecked and lying in the sand with one side in the sand so nothing grew on it and it was still pristine, but the other side that was sticking up, it's all covered in barnacles and stuff. I love things like that. The provenance, it tells so much about the object. So his throne room is filled with these things that he's collected, like mementos from along the way, and just sitting there watching it all burn. Oh, such a great scene.
Yeah, I love the scene because, and again, I don't know where the story is going to take us, but just Corliss going to his estranged son and saying, all I have left to give you is my name. I hope this doesn't mean like this is kind of it for their story, because it can't be, but
they're just uniting as a team,
and they're uniting as a team, but you got to wonder like where's
it going?
Well, and like without their strength and without their ships, I mean, Sea Snake is gone, so without the armada and all that, it's like who's taking them in as a part of like, strength. Like who really is going to say we still need you when everything's pretty much gone? I don't know. Or maybe it's not all gone. I don't know. But
Corliss's fleet was supposed to be half the ships in Westeros. And
yes.
I imagine that, a lot of those are probably merchant marine, but like his actual battle armada was committed to this fight and the Battle of the Gullet. And so, yeah, you're right. Presumably he can't fight anymore.
Yeah.
But Adam is still a dragon rider. And so is his daughter.
And so I was going to say, and so is his daughter. Yeah. With the big dragon. Yeah.
Plus Rhaena or whatever her name is. She's got Rhaena. Yeah. So
now we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah. But what's happening is this family in the next generation is transitioning from a sea power to air power. So the only true form of power, which is the dragons. Yeah. And remember when he was explaining himself, he was like, my family was not a great house in Old Valyria. Like we had to scrimp and we were the sailors, like we didn't have dragons. So even though he's an old family from the old continent and he's like the second family, they never were dragon riders ever. And then, their power was the sea. But now in the next generation, you got 3 dragon riders, and including one, which is the dragon that can probably have the best chance against Vhagar.
Yeah. His daughter's dragon is definitely the best chance.
Sheep Stealer is like Vhagar. Like, I think they're similar in age and stuff.
Well, they're not similar in size, but yeah.
Yeah, I think Vhagar. Okay, dude, Vhagar. HBO, you told me about the after like episode 1 or 2 where they had one of those like side shows where they behind the scenes, and the pyrotechnic crew, they were like, we just established a world record for lighting the most stuntmen on fire at once. and they showed, and so at first I saw just the stunt work with the green screen with just the pyrotechnics and the stuntmen, and it's great because they already have the melted face makeup, and then they light them on fire, and then they zoom in on the melted face, so it looks like the fire melted the face. It's so awesome. And like the dudes, they're just like turning to run. A couple of them are already on fire, and then the whole from the back, woof, to the front, and like everything's going off, and it's only green screen, right?
Yeah.
And then when we saw Vhagar just roasting a squad of dudes outside Harrenhal that just happened to be camped out there, just flying over like, oh, roast those guys. That was one of those.
I love that scene. It's just random. Blink and you miss it scene. He just lays out a group of people.
They lit that area, and it's a large area because you got an aerial shot, and they took it from probably a drone really high up. They lit up a large piece of land on fire with, actors in there. And then I believe that they probably reused that same event, but from the close-up angle for the, I don't know if they did or didn't, but then the stuff with the green screen that I was describing, that's when Vhagar actually lands in Harrenhal, and he just like goes and just burns out these dudes. And so like seeing the stunt work and the pyrotechnics and stuff, which was very impressive, with just a green screen, and then seeing the full rendering of the dragon and all that, to make it look like the dragon's actually doing all that damage. Oh my God, I was impressed even more than just watching the behind the scenes stuff. And at that point I was like, dude, largest lighting stunt, people on fire ever, just for this 30 seconds to like 2 minutes of one episode. Like, oh my God, dude, I love the production value.
I do too, but it's funny how that scene in Harrenhal, when Vhagar first lights up a bunch of people, they're all just standing. Yeah. Why are you not running?
These guys are paralyzed with fear and duty. They're like,
no, you got to, well, probably duty more. Yeah. But you would think like, dude, when Vhagar pops his head in, that it's like, he's like the Empire State Building turned sideways, like he's fucking, if you guys want to know how big Vhagar is, look at this shit.
Vhagar,
dude, he could fit other people's dragons in his mouth,
Yeah.
So,
dude, Vhagar is like a megalodon coming up against a reef shark.
Well, I don't have a whole lot to say about this last. We'll kind of wrap it up at this last part. I know we went out of order, but we went in the order that we wanted to talk about it. So, fuck you, like, so, but, cause I don't have a lot. I don't know where this is going. I hope it's going somewhere, but Aegon and, Laris Strong, like,
dude, I'm just imagining the two of these guys just hobbling along.
I want to see a fucking like comedy road trip movie with these two. Like, that's what it kind of feels like, actually. And with everything that's going on right now, the fact that they, they're, the little line that they're in right there, like in the carriage that they're in, they get attacked, and they have this moment to like take off, and then they're like, oh, seize them, and then it seems like Aegon's just like, he's like stabbing a guy on the side. You're like, okay, so something's going on. But
dude, these guys are hilarious. They are so funny.
Yeah, it's like a comedy. Yeah. Hey, Gap After Dark 2034, a good discussion. Enjoyed it. Well, hey, we enjoyed having you here. Thank you so much. Please come back. We do it every month. We do it every Monday if you like the show. So please, thank you very, very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for talking about it.
Yeah, I agree. This whole side quest is very strange.
So, okay. Knowing now that episode 2 was supposed to be the season ender.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
That makes so much more sense, because now episode 3, it what should have been the season opener. And what you see at the end of episode 2 is finally the underdogs who've been cheated out of everything. They're coming back, and they're at their peak at this moment. Like, this is their ascendant, and this is like where they're dominant. And now season 3 is gonna be, was originally intended to open with, now Team Green has to be on the back foot now
with this next episode. Yeah.
And not just one, like, it took 2 seasons to get this far. So I'm gonna think, if I'm just predicting, I would say Team Green is right now at a low point. They're gonna rebuild. And same with the Corliss family, the Valerians.
How are they going to rebuild? Like,
well, that's what the next few episodes will be about.
I want episode 3. I want another conversation with Alicent and Rhaenyra, and I think we're going to get it for sure. Yeah.
Well, Alicent and Rhaenyra, they definitely are going to be talking, because they are now face to face. And the way that Game of Thrones, like, one of the things I love about this episode too is that it picks up exactly where 3 left off. It's with Jace's body in the water. And again, you get those incredible underwater shots coming from the bottom, looking up, that I love so much about the Battle of the Gullet, And
we still don't know where Jason Lannister is. Like, when he got thrown overboard, it was very shallow.
Right. So you've got these wild cards. You've got you've got that one Lannister who got thrown overboard, presumably not dead, but definitely a low point, right? And you got the Corliss and his family. They're building up. You got Aemond, and Alice Rivers is going to be helping him. Otherwise, there's no way that he's going to survive that knife wound. And and Alice.
Well, the way things were left with her and Daemon, I would not be surprised if she's helping Aegon now. Or I'm sorry, Aemond.
Yeah, because
she's like, you're just a midwife. You can't be the leader of Harrenhal. Like, you're just bullshit.
To give me rubies, like, But so you've got these players, and these two, dude, Laris Strong and freaking frat boy over here,
just goofballs, man. It's it's a fucking road trip stoner comedy right here.
It is really, dude. This is one of the closest to Night of the Seven Kingdoms we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Around. Dude, I just want to watch 3 minutes of them just trying to hobble down the road, bitching at each other, dude.
They just need to put the goofy saxophone music that they put in Night of the Seven Kingdoms in there for sure.
Dude. Yeah.
Or like some yakety sax, some Benny Hill music.
Yeah. And this is the first time that Laris Strong is not a complete perv and like almost likable.
Well, because he doesn't, he's not stupid. So this scene right here starts out with like Aegon going, "Why the fuck would you tell him who I am, you idiot?" He's like, "Dude, they were gonna kill us. They were just going to kill us."
Well, no, I love it. Laris, he starts out as like, "So you haven't been asking me for milk or the poppy? Is that because you don't feel the pain?" And he's like, "Just come on, fucking talking to you."
I love it whenever they say that. So you do not want more of the milk of the puppy?
I'm saying milking, bro. Just mainline it.
Yeah. No, they really need to have some reggae music and some smoke blowing in this. I might actually have to do that for our opener for our next one. Yeah, just put some some fog hat. I thought the death scene for Jace in the episode felt like the finale. Now knowing it was supposed to be makes more sense. It sets up a really strong beginning to the season. It does, but I can't help but think, man, maybe the fan base would be so much more here had it ended at this episode last season. Because now people would be like, "Oh, dude, what's happening now?" Like, Jace is dead. Rhaenyra takes the Iron Throne, even though she's not actually royalty. Like, this is bizarre, but yeah.
So you're saying you didn't appreciate ending season 2 on a montage?
I know, man. It was so boring. It was so boring. God. Yeah.
I was like, okay, montage, got it. And I tried to justify it as like each part of the montage is an epic pinnacle of the bullshit. Bullshit. It's fucking montage, And then a 2-year hiatus, which is actually why I'm so glad that they just started out with a banger. Just episode 1 and 2 hitting hard. And episode 3 has to be good too. If that was supposed to be the first of season 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, later, Gap After Dark. So much appreciation for you being here. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Yeah. No, I agree. Now if this was your true beginning for season 3, it better not be some people talking in rooms for 45 minutes, Yeah,
very dramatically speaking to each other.
And there'll be a little of that, but we need to start moving.
And HBO knocks that out of the park, dude. Like, this is the only drama that I'm actually invested in, Like, I don't rewatch anything ever.
Yeah, I was I can't remember the last time I was so excited for a season opener. I was on vacation and I was in Arizona at an Airbnb, and I was like, Sunday night, I gotta get to HBO Max on this TV so I can watch it. And then I did, and we made it back to do our first show last week. So, yeah, man. This was a great episode. I had a couple of problems with it. Like I already mentioned them. Just why was it so easy to get to the Iron Throne? But other than that, Ashton did bring up a good point about that. Like, Allison did tell people to stand down, but
she did tell people to stand down. And dude, remember when the rat catchers?
Yeah.
When they were going to murder the babies,
just killing people. Yeah.
And at the time we were like, where are the guards? Where are there's literally an assassin like murdering babies in their crib.
Yeah.
Where are the household guards? Like, this is not a very well protected place. Like,
I don't feel House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon, the show, as beautiful as the production is, it doesn't feel as lived in as the original Game of Thrones series did. Like, everything felt so lived in, from Flea Bottom to King's Landing, to everything. It just and obviously the Wall, like everything, just it was so perfectly done. With this one, it's like, okay, well, the scene we're focusing on right now, we're gonna make it feel lived in, but then you just don't see enough of like everyday Westeros stuff in this one. It's so focused on the families that you don't really get that sense of, well, what just happened to regular peasants after the Battle of the Gullet? Did it affect them at all? You would see that in Game of Thrones. You don't really get that in this show, Yeah,
that's true. The only time you actually see the common people, like, for example, when the dragons fly in at the very end, where Rhaenyra's coming back to claim the throne, and it cuts to, that's the first time it cuts to like the crowds in the city, where they're just, no one told them what's going on. They just
everyone's should be fucking scared shitless and running around like cockroaches,
and they were.
But it feels so empty, Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, but even in that moment, I love because one of the people they cut to is Hugh Hammer's wife, where she's just bringing home goods from the market or whatever, and she's one of those common people that gets like not even 2 seconds of screen time. They just show her reaction.
Yeah. She had a little bit more last season. Just because he was going to go and face a dragon or whatever. Yeah.
Did their kid die? Their daughter died.
Yes.
Yeah, and she blamed him.
Yeah.
I love these characters, dude. Like even the side characters have backstories. And when we watch it originally, because the first 2 seasons they were slow as fuck, dude. It was
dude, especially season 2. Like season 1 progressed so well because of all the time jumps. Season 2 was really sort of dormant. It was just kind of sitting there, and then they'd give you a banger like in season or episode 4 with the dragon fights, but that it was a slow season for sure.
And the reason why is because they're showing the backstories of even the side characters. You know what I mean?
Is that the queen of the Iron Throne behind you?
There is. I am her queen. She's riding me. But you get the backstories of all these people because they front loaded it in the first couple of seasons. And it was really slow and tedious because it's just mundane family drama. But now it's like, dude, I get why Hugh Hammer is there. I understand his motivation. I see why his personality makes sense to me. And the same thing with Ulf and like all these side characters, because like you kind of got their stories, and it took a while. But that's what I love about HBO. They'll take that time. They'll let you see, not just with Game of Thrones, but like they've done a lot of mini series about, like for example, if you ever want to watch some really great 3-part miniseries, go to HBO. Like Saddam Hussein's Family, House of Saddam, really good. Like all kinds of great stuff. You go check it out.
last thing I want to say.
Oh yeah,
I hate this character. I don't know why Damon did not cut her head off. When he came across her in the corridors, he clearly knows that she's manipulating things behind the scenes. He should have just hacked her head off. And it doesn't seem like Rhaenyra cares about her that much anymore. So I don't think it would have been a big deal. I feel like the longer they keep this person around, the worse it's going to get. I hate the White Worm.
She is definitely the spider. She even dresses like Viserys. She is basically kind of like in some ways Viserys in this is sort of part her, but also part Larys Strong. But even Viserys, I think that he was a bit more noble than both these characters, even though Larys Strong was technically from a noble family. Viserys, I believe that he was somehow illegitimate. He was one of those bastard kids from the brothels, but he actually has like some Targaryen blood. That's why he shaved his head, I think. I'm not sure. But, so even this character here, the way she dresses, that's how Viserys would dress.
Well,
the role she's playing, the spy master, the spider, she's the center of the web. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I know she's in the source material. I actually quite like this actress. She was in Ex Machina. She was in Annihilation. She's been in good stuff. Alex Garland discovered her and put her in his films, and I think she's good. They write her where it's like, Rhaenyra, she's literally telling you that she is manipulating you in every scene. Like she's written so bad. There's not a single line of dialogue that comes out of her mouth that doesn't sound manipulative. And that's where I'm like, man, the writing of the first season was so fucking good that they would have just found a way to make the audience like her, because it's okay for us to be like, yeah, I don't trust this person. But when the writers are telling you not to trust this person without giving you any reason for another character to trust her, it just throws you off. So I get so annoyed and frustrated, and I'm like rubbing my temples and almost wanting to fast forward through every scene with the White Worm, because I know she's just going to say the same thing over and over. And she's basically telling Rhaenyra, don't trust me. Oh, hey, your hair looks wonderful today. Yeah.
Well, I think that she what it is that her superpower is that she understands people's pain. You know, as an abused person, she has incredible empathy and depth, and she seeks out people who have been abused. Like her whole spy network, just like Viserys, is
Yeah.
all these orphan kids that are just like in the slums, you know, because no one notices them because they are the most abused people in society. So when she sees someone like Rhaenyra, who's been deeply hurt, you know, like at this point, like she, like even though she's very privileged, like she has some very deep personal family drama, and basically she's like the therapist that can like give empathy and like make you feel like someone cares about you. And I think that that is that's her like power, you know. And
no, and I get that, but the writing is so bad on her. You automatically know she's bad. You never feel any sympathy or trust. You know.
And
Sorry.
Rhaenyra, and her effect is kind of wearing off on Rhaenyra. Because
no, it is. You can tell. You can tell. Yeah. Like she's not even looking at her anymore. Yeah. She's.
It's like, you know what? We made out that one time, but you know,
that was a mistake. I was just in my. I was in my college.
I mean, I made you breakfast, but it's been like 4 years now. Like, still hanging out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you know, I think who this character should have been written as. You know how like Tyrion Lannister. In Game of Thrones ends up falling for the prostitutes. I think season 3 or 4. Remember her? Oh, yeah. Well, of course you do. You're an encyclopedia of Game of Thrones. I loved that character. I love that character so much because she really did love him. And after time, obviously she has like an offer, you know, and her kind of situation shifts.
He basically she got turned on first.
Yeah, no, she did. But I feel like, well, that's what I'm getting at is like, if the White Worm was somebody that was truly trying to be Rhaenyra's sort of, I think Ashty said it. She's a
black version of the Master of Whispers.
Yes, Master of Whispers. Like if she had tried to been somebody that was giving her good advice quietly, and then felt betrayed, and then became this sort of like, you know, manipulative person. Because I still don't know what her motive is, and nobody does.
Survival. You know. Everyone is a survivalist.
I don't know.
But
I think
she ultimately is a survivalist because when she explained herself to Daemon, like back when. At one of the most powerful scenes where at Dragonstone, that walkway up to Dragonstone, which is made for a fight, you know, it's just a narrow walkway and they have the little side, like not bunkers, but little side gaps where you
I love that.
And I know
what you're talking about.
Yeah, dude, that scene where right after that, because she walks away, like when Daemon is like, oh yeah, you know, we're married and she's pregnant, and the look on her face, she just looks at him. She's like, "What do you mean we're married and I'm pregnant?" You know, and like she just turns.
Hold down the fort. Keep going. I'll be right back.
Yeah, she just turns around and walks away, dude. She just walks away, and then everything else, then everyone else, you know, Daemon eventually follows her, right? But you know, when they're talking over in the Dragonstone throne room, at the end of that, she really explains her motivation. She was like, "I've been bought and sold more times than I care to count. And like my whole life, I've been in fear of everyone around me. And you offer me protection. And you are not protecting me. Like you Targaryens can play your games, but I am nothing. Like I will die the moment anyone gets their hands on me, you know? And so like she is just a survivalist. She's trying to be in charge of the situation. And that's her drive. You know, like I think that she's always just trying to be as strong as she can because she feels like everyone's out to get her. And, you know, for her to seek out Rhaenyra is her motivation, I think, is just survival. You know, she's just trying to find someone who's going to protect her. And, you know, she knows Daemon's not going to do that because he toys with people. He is a psychopath, you know? And, you know, she's like, I need someone who's actually going to protect me and care for me. And so I really think that's what she's looking for in Rhaenyra. You know, when Rhaenyra left, to fly to Dragonstone and to claim not from to Dragonstone, but to fly to King's Landing and to claim the throne. Over here, you got the White Worm saying, "Here's your crown. I think you're gonna need it." Saying, "I'm confident in you. Like I'm boasting about how you are about to win," because no one knows Rhaenyra was walking into a trap. And so what she's doing, the white worm is, she was like, "Here's your crown. You're gonna need this, and when you get there, I hope you will call for me. I want you to remember who has been loyal to you." And so she's a survivalist. She's just looking to, like everybody else, how can I outlive everyone else around me?
I don't know, man. I think she's got more up her sleeve. But
she's not supernatural though. She's not like she's not like the Fire Witch. She's not
supernatural. No. She's not at all. Well, she doesn't come from that kind of mystique, like people know who she is. Like that's a totally different type of character. But I do think it is a little weird that Daemon just kind of let her, like he knows that she's full of shit. He knows
he left her there as a prisoner. That's what he said.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. What was that scene? Do you remember that scene?
From season 2?
Yeah, what happened when he left her there?
I'd have to go back. I mean, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the scene in detail. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because he goes, "I left you. You're a prisoner, and you're the person guarding the queen's door." Like, and that's probably the only reason why I didn't kill her, because he's like, "Oh, okay, I see that you're really close to power, and I shouldn't kill you immediately."
And I think the whole kiss thing was really misguided, because Rhaenyra is not lily pad. Is that your throne or is that Daddy's throne?
Well, it's her throne.
It's her throne now. I like your hair. I like your hair.
Yeah,
you're doing something different with the hair.
It's long. Yeah, we gotta get a ponytail. We need to put back our hair.
But Ashley, just this comment just made me realize, man,
dude,
this show we miss Viserys so much.
Dude, Viserys, good King Viserys, dude. Like
one of the greatest television characters of the past 10 years for sure.
So good, dude. Man, I could just go back and talk about his last dinner with his family.
Oh, and then the walk to the throne. And I think that I do think that this episode, I hope anyway, that they were thinking of that scene where he walked up to his throne, and it was such a powerful moment. And the fact that, like, when Rhaenyra walks up to it, it's just after beheading somebody, and like the way things have changed so much from what her father meant, and like now it's a throne like made and covered in, everything's just covered in blood and deceit now, and that's the opposite of what he wanted.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sucks, but it makes for good television. But
it makes for incredible television, and it's actually probably closer to the truth than most things are.
I feel like and I might be crazy. This might be a hot take, but if Daemon was just allowed to take the throne after that, I wouldn't say there'd be constant peace, obviously, but I think the realm would be in better shape, because you wouldn't have faction after faction. People would be more in fear of him, so you wouldn't have so much. You wouldn't have all this extra intrigue and all these other factions. Trying to work out plans. I think he would rule with an iron fist and be very brutal, but I think it would be in better shape than it is right now if he was king.
I don't honestly, now that you mentioned, like, what would it be like, what if? I don't even think Daemon wants to be king.
He doesn't anymore.
Yeah, because you actually have to make really boring decisions about.
Well, remember it. It wasn't. He hasn't wanted to be king since the first half of season 1, where he was still younger. I'm just saying, had he become king, I'm not saying everything would have been perfect, but
I get what you're saying. I 100% understand what you're saying, and that there would be no opposition.
Yes.
Right? Daemon just likes to light fires.
He would be so fucking bored as king, dude.
He would be bored as fuck, dude.
He would be, let's start a war.
Shit. just to start some shit.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't remember the last time I cut someone's face off today. You mean head, side, or no face?
I still think it would be in better shape than it is right now, though.
Yeah, you wouldn't have all out civil war.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't be a good ruler. But it would be better.
I don't know. I mean, he's such an infantryman, like that's his thing. Like creating armies and building armies and creating plans.
The barracks with the men,
he'd be so bored he'd be bored being fed grapes and giant turkey drumsticks from naked ladies.
He could not he could not do that. That's not Damon. Yeah,
but then again, Amon would be bored by that too,
Yeah, but
except Amon is like 10 times more psychotic.
He has no joy in his life at all, dude.
No one in this show has any joy. That's the opening.
But Damon with the men at the brothel.
That's what I was just gonna say. Like
Damon with the men after the battle, they're making the new song.
Yes, the song. Yes.
Years. The
battle cry song at the beginning of this episode. I'm like, wow, there's people with smiles on their faces and like they're toasting and drinking. I was like, because we haven't seen that on House of the Dragon.
Next to his Larkin's head.
Because you got a lot of that in Game of Thrones. You got a lot of levity. A lot of people, this show has been so somber. So it was kind of.
This is like a family soap opera. It's like a just family drama, which I love, because every show is its own thing. Game of Thrones is OG, it's everything, right? But then you got House of the Dragon, which is personal family drama and intrigue. And it's just hyper focused on that, which really resonates with me, especially because they're putting all the budget into it and they're getting all the special effects and battles. But also with the House of the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, I loved it, and it was great. It was not
that was the comedy of Game of Thrones. Yeah.
And so they're like, this is the levity part, this is the good guy, this is just this, and we're gonna do it 100%, And so even though it's all the same world, you have totally different aesthetics, the family drama versus like the buddy good guy, like swashbuckle versus like. Dude, Game of Thrones was everything. Game of Thrones is like when you talk about the films that make men cry, you talk about Braveheart, Gladiator, Saving Private Ryan, and shit like that, right? And certain episodes from the original
When Harry Met Sally.
When Harry Met Sally makes every man cry. But like certain episodes from Game of Thrones are up there with those great films that are so epic, And so, like Game of Thrones, I mean, that's what established everything. Dude, it's so good. Battle of the Bastards, oh my god, my personal favorite, the wagon train. That's the first time you actually really see dragons in action, and now it's just Dragon Fest, dude, which is fucking nuts. But anyway, it's been a good ride.
Yeah, it has, and if they decide to make any more spinoffs, because I had heard about certain ones and. An Arya show, a Jon. I would actually love to see a Jon Snow show, just because I felt his story wasn't over yet. But I don't really want them to go too forward.
I would love that if it was recast, or something. But like you said, let's broaden out this universe. Like we don't have to just stick with. The great thing about this is that it's a tale that goes over centuries.
Dude, I want to see a show, maybe just one season. 6 episodes of the history of the Blackens and the Brackens and the Blackwoods. I just want to see that.
That, or just go straight up Middle Earth and just show exactly what was going on between the children and the men and like where the origin of why, like dramatize that, detail it, like you could do all kinds of shit, dude. Because this is really, in some sense, this is like where Lord of the Rings left off with the end of Middle Earth, the Second Age, and the end of the age of like all the elves and the hobbits and everything else and the orcs and the beginning of the Age of Men. And that's where Game of Thrones takes off.
Yeah.
The beginning of the Age of Men, because now all the elves and everything else, the supernatural stuff's been conquered, and now it's just the infighting among the humans. And it's almost like a continuation in that, of like the universe or whatever, like the concept. And so, I'd love to see some more stories, within this whole thing, dude. It's
amazing. Right. For right now, I'm happy that we're getting more Night of the Seven Kingdoms. We got one after this. We have one more season of House of the Dragon. I'm stoked on that. I've said this a million times on this stream since we started it. House of the Dragon is the show that got me into this universe. Don't ask me why. I was nervous to watch Game of Thrones because I had heard things about how great it was and then how it kind of fell. And I ended up watching the whole thing and enjoying 99% of it, being disappointed in the ending, but not like where I want to cut someone's head off for it, but, and then getting to watch this one and seeing all the things that, God, episode 8 of season 2, Damon has the fucking vision and you're seeing the Game of Thrones scenes. It just like gives you a boner. You're like, oh, and then
you could do a whole episode just on that, that where Damon finally sees a song of ice and fire.
Yeah.
Where he sees Daenerys.
Well, I texted you Song of Ice and Fire because they say it in the episode we just watched. They say it, the Song of Ice and Fire. I was like, oh shit.
There was an awesome scene where Viserys is handing off the dagger, whatever that dagger is called, like the dagger, to the
dagger that that's the one that is that the dagger that ultimately kills,
that Arya uses to stab.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Valyrian steel. Valyrian steel. Yeah,
Viserys puts the dagger into a fire, and he's trying to make up with his daughter because, like, the mom's dead. It's his fault. It was for nothing because the son died, and that's all he ever wanted. So she's resentful, and he's trying to get her, back as a daughter. And he's like, look, you are my heir. I doubted. I had other thoughts. But I'm sticking with you. And he's had this dagger in the coals until it heats up. And he goes, like when Aegon the Conqueror, when he had his dream, then he had his final thing was he had his like Smith or whatever, Valyrian Smith, I guess, whatever. Inscribed the Ice and Fire. And so she reads it. It's these old ruins. They're like Celtic ruins. And, she reads it. And like, that is such a like amazing potent scene, where like you actually see the value of that dagger and why everyone who's like the good guy, they're not really good because they're all psychopaths, they're murderers, but like they're part of this bigger thing where my family has to be on the throne to save everybody in the future. So therefore, all the bad stuff we do right now is justified,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that Game of Thrones did so well, is that the bad doings and some of the things that needed to happen were for the greater good. You had so many characters that were actually good, whereas in House of the Dragon, now that Jace is gone, there's not really anybody good left. You could have said
Helena.
Well, no. Helena, definitely Helena.
But no main character. No like actual.
Yeah, Helena, and then I guess maybe if Jason Lannister survived the thing, he's kind of a good guy, And I do think, actually, now that I think about it, Corlys Velaryon is kind of a good. Corlys is a good guy. Yeah. So there's
family, they're all good.
Yeah, they're all pretty good, and then.
Hammer.
What was the one guy I was going to say? Sir Cole. Christian Cole was a good guy, and now he seems like he's just waiting to die. Like they only give him reaction shots. He's not really a character anymore.
No, they're just kind of like, we need to justify how this whole army is going to show up at this one battle to save the day.
I always wanted Christian Cole to have a redemption the way that Jaime Lannister did. But
that's true. Yeah, no, he had this whole arc. But Cole, his thing was that he was just burned by everyone. Like every woman he loved, he was just like,
yeah, he was.
But when we were talking before, what does Team Green have? They have Cole. No, him and his.
No, they don't. They don't even really have him. He's just kind of there. Like he's
What I
not
mean
really
is
an
he's-
elite,
What I mean is like he's alive,
but
and
he's not really in allegiance with anybody anymore. You know,
no, because
he's
when
been
they
burned by both houses. You know,
he has by both queens, but
yeah,
his allegiance with it right now is with Aemon, because when he sees Vagar flying over to Harrenhal,
yeah, no, it is.
his
It
reaction
is.
is, we go to Harrenhal. You know, like, okay, we're attached to this dragon. Like he is in awe. He is.
But he's a character that just wants to die in battle. He doesn't really care.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't put too much investment into him. You know, like. So Bummaster says, I don't know if that's how you spell Aegon, but Aegon sucks this season. I disagree. It's a very Harold and Kumar go to White Castle situation here.
Dude, they're hilarious, dude. Those guys are hilarious.
Hey, later.
Talking to you.
Later, Protein. Later, buddy. Love you.
Right,
let's see. Almost. Have a great night, Ashley. Oh, okay. So people are signing up.
Yeah. GG's, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I don't know.
No, I just I can never stop talking about this stuff, dude. I love this. It's amazing, dude.
Yeah, same here, man. Same here.
So painting his shield, waiting to get roasted by someone's dragon.
Well, let's let the people know what's the schedule like for us, so people know. Are we still on for next week? Because I know you're okay. We are okay.
Yeah, it's next Monday. It'll be good.
Okay, perfect.
I don't know about 4:30. It might be a little later.
Oh no, that's fine. We'll come up with a time. So next Sunday is the day after 4th of July. Or wait, no, Monday.
The 4th is Saturday.
Saturday, so it'll be the 6th that we're on.
So the 5th is Sunday. So yeah, Monday the 6th. Yeah.
I will. Yeah, we'll be here on the 6th. So we can go back to 6 p.m. if you want, because I do have to. I'll be at work that day, so I'll come back. I probably won't be able to do 4:30. So.
Yeah, this is just a one-off.
Okay, and we will have Princess Lilypad on as usual, and so
live and in charge.
Hey, Headcase, what do you think? Does that day work for you?
Well, I just might lose my head.
Okay, well, I'll take that as a yes. Thank you so much,
dude. This has been amazing. I love the show. I love doing this. Thank you so much.
Awesome. We'll see you guys next time. Ash D, we love you. Protein, we love you. All of you guys, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next week. I'm not hitting the button.
Live?
Yeah, I'm not hitting the button. For some reason, I just wanted to sit here for a second. Okay.